What is an extra rule your family added to a popular board or card game? My father-in-law keeps note of who's wronged him with a series of annotations beside the score when we play cards. Ah, I see, he plays Total War, Warhammer 2. Plot twist, it's not to get revenge in-game, it's to give him the longest list at the annual Festivus airing of the grievances. In Scrabble, the person who can make the longest word goes first, highest points breaks a tie. This makes the game more fun by ensuring there are lots of places to play your letters. That's the best rule here, TBH. Just started playing Quirkle and that's how you decide who starts, and it makes so much sense to use it for Scrabble too. My grandmother was deaf/mute, so when we played Uno, instead of saying Uno we knocked on the table quickly twice. When my mother-in-law was suffering from dementia, we would play Uno with her and just let her play any card she wanted to play. She was at a point where she couldn't follow the rules of the game, but she did understand that she should put down a card when it was her turn. So we just let her play whatever she wanted. It introduced a fun chaotic element to the game and she got to enjoy participating and spending time with us. There is a game called Twos, which is basically Uno with a regular deck of playing cards that we would play before we ever had an actual Uno deck, and our rule in that has always been to knock on the table when you have one card left. Literally anything goes in Monopoly. Whatever business deals you make in Monopoly are valid, for example paying some insurance each round so that if you land on their rent properties you are immune. When I was a kid, the small group of friends I had all played crazy, days-long games of Monopoly through summer and especially winter breaks. As far as anything goes, we took it even away from the game. Shit like, Sell Me Street. Charles Place for $2,500, and you don't have to ever pay for landing on it. And also I'll wash the dishes and take out the trash for you tonight. Or, give me immunity on your yellow Monopoly and I won't attack your army with any land units in our next StarCraft game. Buildings only. Or even, we each have 2 railroads, let's form a cartel. Give me your 2, and we'll split all rail income 50-50. To keep me honest, I'll give you control of my purple Monopoly. You'll hold those deeds but I still get 100% of the profits. If I ever don't share the rail profits, you keep the purples. If you ever don't give me the purple profits, I keep your 2 rails. This bargaining extended to times we were totally away from the game too. Shit like, oh there's only 1 pizza bagel left. I'll give you $500 of Monopoly cash for it. We had a game spiral so deeply into cross-player alliances and deals that every move took about 5 minutes to work out who owed what to whom, and half the time it all cancelled out. We had 7-year-olds writing 4-party contracts across multiple amortization periods. We opted to skip that rule moving forward. In Monopoly we have a rule that my sister can't be the banker, otherwise it's like watching Ocean's 11. My sister growing up seemed to win every time she was banker. We had one of the electronic banks die Monopoly too, so it was easier to cheat. She can't shake the name Crooked Banker for any game we play, including games that have no bank aspect to them. If a roll in Parcheesi is suspect, it's because she's the Crooked Banker. I don't even think she's ever cheated on purpose, it's just really fun to make fun of her. My uncle told me stories about how whenever he played Monopoly at a friend's house he would always bring a few $500 bills from his own set and use them. Late to the party here, but in Monopoly we allow the utilities to collect 5% of any player-to-player transaction over $200. It helps keep the utilities relevant and desirable. You've got me thinking, but shouldn't utilities scale with the number of properties owned? Or maybe per building built? Seriously, those utilities in all those buildings has got to start adding up. That's very interesting. I have often noticed the utilities feeling like a drag. So this could be fun. I really like running Monopoly with 2 D20s instead of the default 6s, makes it a lot more chaotic. Ooh. This is a great idea. I've got to imagine that it would shake up the meta of Monopoly. Like the orange and red spaces would no longer be the best sets of properties to buy. Oh my god, that's such a good idea. Taboo, you can play 3-player, cutthroat, taboo. The rules don't really change but the scoring does. There's a ref, watching for taboo words, guesser, can't see the card, and talker, can see the card. The guesser and talker will get 1 point each for each successful guessed word. Taboo words are scored 1 point to the ref. At the end of the round, roles rotate like normal, clockwise. After everyone has 2 turns talking, rotate the other way, counterclockwise. This lets everyone get a turn guessing and talking with each person. I prefer this way because you don't get stuck on a winning or losing team. Everyone plays with everyone. And there's never a 4th person out. That's a good one. Don't know if I'll bring taboo back into the household though. Me and the wife got into one of our biggest fights over taboo. It was back when we were dating, and we don't remember what really caused it. We just know it was taboo and have agreed we will never play it again. In every coop game, pandemic, castle panic, whatever, there is usually someone who tries to tell everyone what to do. I can accidentally be this person. So, I implemented the right-hand man rule. If the person whose turn it is want advice, if they can only get it from the person on their right, nobody else can say anything. Makes things way more enjoyable. I like when cooperative games suggest to play with a closed hand or restrict what you can say to limit quarterbacking. Spirit Island is my favorite as quarterbacking is too hard to do as each player has a wildly different gameplay style. I need to include this in my playstyle. I tend to accidentally be the dominate player telling others what to do. In Trivial Pursuit, we have a rule: if the player being asked doesn't know the answer, they can ask the room. The room doesn't actually answer, but they say whether they know the answer or not. If nobody knows the answer, it's considered an invalid question, and another card gets drawn instead. If someone in the room does know, but the player being asked doesn't, then it's just a plain old pass. My dad knows a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot. When he was a kid he read the Encyclopedia Britannica for fun. Basically, the rule was born from, if even dad doesn't know the answer, then nobody does, and it's a terrible question. I like this rule. My family has done similar before with other trivia games but on an irregular basis. I might propose this become a thing at the next board game night. This would have been a good rule the one time I played Trivial Pursuit and my girlfriend and I used an old copy my parents had. The question was something like, which country drinks the most beer per person? My girlfriend first guessed Germany, which was wrong only because the answer was West Germany. In the game of life we would put the white car on top of the middle building of the 3 white buildings together. The first person who got there, got to take the white car and it was worth $1 million at the end of the game. It's been so long since I've played the game of life. Wouldn't the person who got the white car just pretty much win every time? Also life, whenever a chance card is drawn, like, wrote a book, or scientific discovery, etc., the person drawing it has to explain what it was and tell the story. What was the book about, what did they discover, etc. You also have to tell the story of your spouse and name any kids. Depending on who is playing, the answers can get really silly, makes the game more entertaining. Nukes in Risk: if you roll 3 6s when attacking you defeat every army on the territory you're attacking into. If you roll 3 1s, you nuke yourself and lose every army in the territory you're attacking from. My mates and I play Risk all the time, might introduce this rule to them. Risk 2210 AD has nukes and you can go to the moon. It's only 5 rounds max as well, and then the game ends no matter what. Gives a long game a fair time limit. 5 turns is more than enough to wipe out some opponents, makes you play very aggressively. At the end of Scrabble you make up a story with all the words on the board. We never looked at the tiles for scores, we just played to get the best words on the board. Wow, that sounds lovely actually, good to spark creativity as well. We did something similar with Cards Against Humanity. Pick up a card, start the story, go around the table. Got some really weird stories. If you say sorry while playing, you pick up 2 cards. Slap that +4 down with authority. Also, if you have exactly the same card as the one that has just been played, you can jump in and play your duplicate regardless of if it's your turn or not. If you're playing against a Canadian, this just guarantees your victory from the start. My friends can't grasp the out-of-turn duplicate. They get confused who goes next. The no sorry rule sounds really fun. I will keep that in mind. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.